Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome any new viewers visiting the channel. Had a question about the specs of how I ordered this Cook's MP32 Sawmill. So I thought I'd do an updated video. I guess it's kind of buried in the middle of a video previously, but this will specifically be on how I ordered my sawmill and kind of the specs of it. All right, so kind of how I ordered this sawmill originally. It has a 21-foot log cut. The deck is designed for 21-foot log cut. It will actually cut a 22-foot long log. It gives you zero room to play, but it will do it. I ordered it with power up and down, so this is just a brake. You can fine adjust right here, but this is really what makes the big difference when you get to the other end and you want to come up and out of that log to come back for your next cut. That power up really makes a big difference. So I ordered it with that originally. I ordered it 21-foot log cut. I ordered it with the 25 horse electronic fuel injected Kohler engine. I ordered it as a trailer, so it's got the tow package on it. It's got a tongue in it and it's got an axle under it, as you can see. It was a manual mill, so you had manual feed mill. I had to push it with this arm that was here. You pushed it through the cut. It pushes a little harder now that I'm spinning that motor as well, but before you could push it right through a cut. It was really simple. I added this box, this motor, the feed chain, and this arm and switches. I added that after the fact. I actually had an injury. I broke my foot and I couldn't do any sawing, so I developed a seat for it. I engineered a seat that mounted. That's what this bracket here is, and I could sit here as long as I had my boys helping me to offload. I could sit and run the sawmill still. Got me out of the house, kept me from getting too fat. So I added this. It does make it nice because you can, I can set this feed speed. Let me get back away from that log. So I can flip that. I put this zip tie on here so it will feed. You can slow it way down, obviously, or speed it up. And then you just flip the zip tie off the switch and it stops. Probably wouldn't recommend that, but that's what I done because it's probably a safety thing. It is considered 32 inch, so it'll do a 32 inch diameter log. 32 inches inside of these vertical framework. Now, you cannot saw 32 inches wide. From right here, that roller guide, to this roller guide, I could probably get another maybe 3/4 of an inch, but right now it's 27 and a quarter, I believe. Yeah, so that's 27 and a quarter inches in there. So that's the widest slab that I can saw. I can adjust that way just a little bit, maybe get 28 inches would be my guess is what it's designed for. This is a hobby mill. It is not a live edge slab mill. It's not a super wide mill, anything like that. So, I mean, for me, everything that I've done with it, it's been perfect. Other than some of the bigger logs, I'll show you some of the problems I have with large diameter logs, and I'm talking 26, 28 inch diameter. It's just a log clamp, the clamp problem. I can get it through the throat, the log through the throat, but I can't lock the log into place with the clamps that's on it, and I'll show you in a minute. So anyhow, that's how I ordered it. That is standard. All that. This is the engine was an option, an upgraded option. The length of the log deck with it was an upgraded option. The power up and down was an upgraded option. The power feed is an upgrade. I actually was able to upgrade it after the fact. Everything was, it was a bolt in place, plug and play type thing. I didn't have to do any welding or fabricating to install that kit. So that was really nice. So here's the log scale. As you make one cut, you come back through, you go from one line, like this line to that line is 1 5/4 board. This is, or 4/4. This is 5/4, that's 6/4. So the log scale's right there, and it is super accurate. And being a hobby mill, it doesn't have the computer set works to adjust your depth each time. It's not really necessary, because I mean I can drop that probably just as fast as a computer set works can and get it right on. Once you get in the habit of how long to leave it engaged, and it's pretty simple to adjust it. There's not a ton of maintenance to it. You got a handful of grease fittings on all these pedal block bearings for the sprockets, and then there's some grease fittings on the jacks. There's roller guide fittings. There's just not a lot of grease fittings. There's a couple grease fittings for the guide rods that it rides up and down on. Just not a lot of daily maintenance to it, but you have to do it. So let me show you over here what I was talking about with the log clamps and when I throw a large diameter log up on there. Let me take you down there and I'll show you. So this is not a large diameter log, but I kind of left it on this edge, kind of imitating like the edge of it was a large diameter. I do have a couple big oaks that I need to saw up, and I'll show you once I get this piece fabricated. But the problem, these log clamps, you can't open it up to lock it in when it's down that low, because it's down below this rail. And when it's a large diameter log, it won't go past the curvature of the log. You just can't get it up there because it's slid all the way over. It won't go up. So I'm going to build a bracket that I can set on top of here, a wedge, and then lock that wedge in with that log clamp. I'll show you once I get that built, but that's the only problem with trying to get a 28 inch diameter log up here. You are going to have that problem. As you can see, there's the axle. This pin right here is for when you're transporting it. That's to lock it in place on the log deck. And it's got the jacks on, 2 jacks on the end, 2 jacks midway, and then 2 jacks down here on this end. So that's the sawmill. It's pretty stupid simple. Cooks uses a felt wiper, diesel fuel drip. I'm not a fan of using water or washer fluid or anything like that as a blade lubricant. The diesel fuel just works so nice. I have seen some people saying that the diesel fuel will stain your lumber and all that stuff. Well, if it's staining your lumber, you're using way too much diesel fuel. It really is just a small drip, like a drip every once a second. If it's sappy, maybe 2 drips a second, if that. It does not take much diesel fuel dripping on that blade to lubricate it. So if you're getting stain from your diesel fuel, you're dumping way too much diesel fuel, and it's way too expensive. So a couple things that I have done to, if you will, upgrade this sawmill. I added lights to it. There's a light here, just an LED light, so that I can see after dark. I can see my log scale, and then there's 2 that shine out in front of the head that illuminates the log down through there, so you can see your log and where you're working. That's one upgrade that I done. I think that might be the only aftermarket upgrade. Well, yeah, I added this toe board down here. That toe board is pretty important to have a toe board. I kind of fabricated that together. I would probably recommend just getting the toe board that Cook's offers. This has got a screw jack on it. It works. It's just really hard to jack it up with the weight of a log on there. So I think theirs is a hydraulic jack, maybe like a bottle jack, which would be a lot easier to raise the one end of the log up, to level out your heart of the log for each end. I guess I'll kind of go over my thoughts, considerations that maybe you should make before you purchase a sawmill. This particular sawmill, these are not cheap. They are not the cheapest on the market by far. I believe they're probably the heaviest built on the market. This sawmill took me no assembly whatsoever. I drug it home, I leveled it, and I was sawing lumber. There is no shipping it to you in a crate and assembling it. It's all pre-assembled in their factory. Everything is welded together. That's a plus to me, because they're able to set it up in a factory, perfectly level, get everything right on the money, versus assembling it on your own at your log yard, wherever you're putting this thing together at, making sure everything is right on the money. And there is no seams. When this thing runs down this rail, you feel no seams. There is none to be felt. The downside is I can't add length to my log deck. So the saw cut is what it is. There's no changing it. That's why I went ahead and ordered a longer saw cut length. My plan was to build some log cabins, and I have, but I wanted at least a 20-foot cut. So that's what I ordered from the get-go. There's no changing it. I guess there is, but it's going to take some welding and fabricating to extend it any longer than it is. But 21-foot log is a pretty good sized log lengthwise, so I'm happy with it. Considerations that anybody that's looking to pick up a sawmill that I would highly recommend you be thinking about is, what are you going to do with all your waste? There is a lot of waste that comes off of these. When I say waste, it's the slab material. Sawdust isn't, I mean, that's not much, but the slab material, there's quite a bit of waste. All your flitches from when you edge them, and you have a lot of waste product. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to run it through a chipper and sell the chips, or are you going to cut it up and for firewood? It's not great quality firewood, but it's firewood. Room. Do you have room to have a pile of slab wood? Do you have room to have your lumber stacked? Do you have room to have your log pile? That's a huge consideration, is room. How are you going to handle the logs? That was my first problem. The first dilemma that I ran up against was handling logs. Logs are not light, and fortunately I was able to pick up a bobcat with forks. It's very handy to have on the farm anyhow, so I was very fortunate to be able to pick up a bobcat, because handling logs it's not easy. It's hard on your back. Originally, I started out, I built a boom for the back of my farm tractor, and I would set my logs with a chain fall off of that boom onto the log deck. That's actually how I built my log cabin. I'd done all that before I had a bobcat. But so you need to be able to handle them. This did come with a set of ramps that you can roll a log up on. The ramps are really nice. I never use them now. It is a lot of work rolling a log. You can get the log turner loader winch that mounts to the side over there. You throw a cable around it. You've seen videos, I'm sure, and you roll them up on the log deck. The other downside with not having a hydraulic sawmill is turning the logs. It's hard work turning a big log. The small logs, it's a piece of cake. Up to even 18-20 inch diameter, it's piece of cake. It's really easy to roll them. You get 28-inch log up on here, and especially an oak log, it's a lot of work turning that log. In between, as you're building your camp, it's a lot of work turning that log. So keep that in mind. That's something else to consider. Do you have the physical ability? Something else to consider is mechanical aptitude. Do you have enough mechanical aptitude to change the blade, to change bearings in the roller guides, or little things, little mechanical problems that you're going to encounter? It's a piece of equipment. It's going to break eventually. Fortunately, I've had really good luck. I've done, other than preventative maintenance, changing oil, greasing it, I've done no maintenance to this thing, no repairs to it. Just hasn't had any. I haven't had anything fail or break. So that's something else to consider when you're purchasing a sawmill or looking at a sawmill. And what is your objective? I mean, what is your goal? Are you trying to make a little bit of money, or are you just a hobby? You want to make some lumber. You got a small tract of woods, and you want to do something with that material, the logs, the trees off of that ground. It's all considerations. What is your objective? Mine was, I love sawing lumber, and I wanted to be able to utilize some of the resources that I have on my farm and save myself some money. Long term, I can make a little bit of money on the side sawing for people. They bring their logs to me. I haven't drugged this thing anywhere to saw for anybody. If they want anything sawn, I have them bring it here. I can offload. Maybe in the future I'll be mobile, but currently I have no desire to. I got plenty to do on my own. I'm not really looking for work. So maybe in the future that might be a consideration, but not now. It's all just for my personal pleasure, really. There's something about taking a log and turning it into something useful. They're beautiful inside. There's all kinds of different grain patterns and the things that you see once you open a log up. It's just, I don't know, it brings you some kind of joy. It brings me joy anyhow. Oh yeah, something I didn't mention, Cooks puts these stainless steel covers on top of their bunks. Extremely important if you ever plan to saw white oak. Those stainless steel bunks, I don't know of any other lumber that's that way, but I know for sure white oak. If you're not setting that white oak on stainless steel, if it is just bare steel, it will turn black like that. Almost within minutes, it will have a black spot in it. You can see when I saw a white oak log on here, my log clamps they're just steel, mild steel. That pin that pokes into the log to hold it. When you clamp that into the white oak, by the time you make that cut and take that back off of there, it's black. There's a black spot. So it stains whatever the chemical reaction is in between white oak and iron. There's some kind of chemical that causes it to turn black. Stainless steel log bunks are a must if you're going to saw white oak. If you're going to saw quality white oak, at least. So I think that's all I wanted to cover. If you have any questions or thoughts, make comments. I try to read all the comments. I try to reply to all the comments. But again, Cook's MP32, great sawmill. I really love it. Remember, if you enjoy my videos, remember to like and subscribe. Believe it or not, I've had quite a few new subscribers in the last couple weeks. It's been kind of shocking how many subscribers have subscribed to the channel, and I appreciate every one of you. I do this for you guys. Try to pass some information that I have along. Hopefully it'll help somebody in making their decision on a sawmill. It is not, I'm not paid by Cooks. I'm not a representative of Cooks, but I do like their product. It's a nice product. I enjoy it. Like I said, this sawmill it's an investment. I spent quite a bit of money getting this sawmill purchased. You can purchase other sawmills that are nice sawmills for quite a bit less money. I wanted something that my grandkids would be able to continue to use. And I think this sawmill is built high enough quality that it will last me my lifetime plus, unless I end up upgrading down the road. I really like the idea of a hydraulic sawmill, but it is what it is. For now, I'm not spending the money. I'm not in a business of sawing logs. I do thoroughly enjoy it though. So again, if you have any questions, leave comments. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Remember, if you're not subscribed to the channel, remember to subscribe and hit that like button. It does help with the algorithms of the YouTube, so it gets more video in front of more people. So thanks again, everybody, and take care.